Welcome to the Bi-Geekly Report, your no longer bi-weekly, but still bi-geekly take on queer representation in geek pop culture. I'm your host, Elle Sanchez. I promised I would in previous videos, and I'm a person of my word. So in this week's video, we are talking the 2018 animated She-Ra reboot. And like many other 1980s gaybies who were fans of the original series, I was super excited when this reboot was announced, and I obviously binge-watched the shit out of it when it debuted on Netflix last November. And rather than kind of give you a detailed review of the series, I'm going to be more specifically talking about the differences between the original and the remake, the pros and cons of those differences, and the final verdict on whether this reboot was even necessary, to be honest. But that being said, obviously, spoiler warnings are in order. The original She-Ra series, which was entitled She-Ra, Princess of Power, debuted in 1985 and was produced in collaboration between Filmation Studios and the toy-making juggernaut that brought us Barbie, the Mattel Corporation. Written by J. Michael Straczynski, who created Babylon 5, as well as wrote for comic books The Amazing Spider-Man and Wonder Woman, and Larry DiTillio, who previously wrote for Flying Buffalo Games, working on RPGs like Call of Cthulhu. It was essentially a spin-off of the highly popular at the time He-Man and the Masters of the Universe animated series, with more of the intention to target little straight girls, but obviously unintentionally was made for all fans of all genders and sexual orientations that were lovers of all things femme, as defined by the beautifully tacky and extra ass decade that was the 1980s. And we've got a crystal castle, fairies, mermaids, Pegasi, a mega fucking heavy pastel palette, glitter, little cuddly creatures that look like koalas with British butler accents, a variety of precious stones, medieval swords, witchery, rainbowed unicorns, gaudy jewelry, that red lipstick blue eyeshadow combo everyone named Karen has mastered, etc. And the only thing that the show was basically missing is like some dangling pink satin ballet shoes that's draped over your vanity mirror with those 3 porcelain harlequin masks on the wall next to it. And to be more specific, She-Ra Pop told the story of Princess Adora, twin sister to Prince Adam, aka He-Man, who was kidnapped from Mom, Pa He-Man in Eternia as a baby by the evil tyrant Hordak and whisked away to another extremely similar planet named Etheria, where she was raised by Hordak, his faithful soldier and possible love interest, the evil sorceress Shadow Weaver, and his evil army that he called the Horde, which is subtle. Adora remained pretty loyal to the Horde via mind control from Shadow Weaver and obviously Stockholm Syndrome, and eventually became the Force Captain when she turned, I guess, like adult age, I think, or possibly 18. The cartoon always looked like a 30-year-old woman, but maybe she's in her 20s or she's supposed to be a teenager. I'm not really sure, and I don't even know if they ever said. But anyway, eventually He-Man is told of her existence and like travels through some sort of magic mirror to Etheria, brings Adora a sword that looks like his sword from Castle Grayskull, and she's able to break Shadow Weaver's spell, as well as see that the Horde has actually been oppressing, not helping the people of Etheria, because now they're called the Horde. She becomes leader of what is known as the Great Rebellion, along with her buds Bo, Glimmer, a bunch of other really extremely well-named folks, and her horse Swiftwind, who turns into a talking flying unicorn named Spirit when she She-Ras. And together, they battle Hordak, Shadow Weaver, and all the main members of the evil Horde, which is now new Force Captain Catra, Scorpia, Mantenna, and Leech. The 2018 She-Ra reboot, which was titled She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which is much closer to the original He-Man title, how it was, put together, debuted on Netflix on November 13th, 2018, and was written by Noelle Stevenson, who is famous for writing the feminist, queer-centric comic Lumberjanes, which we've talked about several times on Bi-Geekly Report. The story basically remains pretty much the same, though He-Man is so far not at all mentioned, and instead Adora was actually taken in by Shadow Weaver as a kid under like sort of mysterious circumstances. They don't mention kidnapping. And she kind of remains loyal to the evil horde growing up, more out of fear and loyalty to her best friend and fellow orphan / chosen sister Catra that she grew up with. And I don't think Shadow Weaver does any kind of literal mind control over her. But anyway, instead of He-Man delivering Adora the sword, she finds the sword in the woods, and it begins to show her like the path to a temple, which describes her destiny as She-Ra, the most powerful woman of the universe. Although it never says that. But that always pissed me off that in He-Man, he says that in his intro, but in the original She-Ra, she never gets to call herself that. It's kind of like not even when she was She-Ra-ing would she say that. Because you know how when He-Man's He-Man-ing, he would like hold a sword and be like, you know, by the power of Grayskull, I have the power, which looks cool as fuck. But then She-Ra would go, for the honor of Grayskull, I am She-Ra, which... I'm serious, I can't say because I am literally gonna cry. It's so good. Anyways, with the help of her rebellious princess friend Glimmer, her possibly bisexual friend Bo, the talking unicorn Swiftwind, Adora eventually figures out the Horde is actually oppressing the people of Etheria, and then joins what's now known as the Resistance and rebuilds the Princess Alliance to fight Hordak, sort of by proxy, Shadow Weaver, and the evil Horde main members, which is now new Force Captain and now ex-best friend Catra, Scorpia, and Entrapta. And here are my favorite changes in the new series that I'm going to call my She-Yaz. If you hate puns, you should probably just like stop watching now. But probably one of the most complained about aspects of the reboot, but most predictably by like sexist turds, was the redesign of the characters in the series. So in the original She-Ra, she's basically this like, you know, very conventionally attractive, like white, you know, blonde Barbie-shaped woman. And in the new She-Ra, she's still white, but is like slightly more muscular and more clothed and looks kind of more believably like a teenaged person. Because apparently not finding a teenage cartoon fuckable is like the #1 problem straight adult men face when trying to enjoy a show with their kids, I guess. But anyway, also many of the characters are redesigned in the new series to look more like kind of gender fluid with like extremely queer-coded presentation, including Catra, Scorpia, Mermista. I can just go down the list. But basically, I love these looks. I love the variety of body types that are in the reboot, including there's like fat princesses, soft butch and hard femme presentations. There's fucking blazers. There's side cuts. I mean, I was inspired. It was great. I also love the extremely relatable kind of toxic teen friendship and sisterhood that exists here between Catra and Adora. You know, it's complicated. It's based in trauma bonding. It's something we can kind of all relate to. It'll make you want to contact like your best friend from high school who you used to steal shit from Walmart with and you stopped talking to 10 years ago because maybe they're toxic, but you still occasionally like their faces or their pictures on Facebook and wonder what they're doing. But for any kids that played with the dolls or watched the She-Ra cartoon in the 80s growing up, including this guy, remembering like the most defining thing about the show at the time or the property in general was like the bizarre and sometimes literal names of all the characters. Like there's Perfuma, who smells like perfume and grows plants. And in the reboot, she's a hippie, obviously. There's Castaspella, Mermista, Spinderella, seriously. And my favorite is Net Tossa. She tosses nets. They make a joke about it in the reboot, thankfully. But I remember looking forward to the episodes when I was a kid to see like new princesses get introduced and what new fun powers and stupid names they would have. But in this reboot, they're all like working together like a fucking Princess Justice League instead of just kind of helping each other out sporadically. So you have to wait to see them in different episodes. But sadly, we have yet to see Flutterina and Peekaboo, who are the butterfly and peacock inspired princesses of the 80s series. But I can only assume that they'll look dope too when they show them. And I'm 100% behind the focus shifting almost entirely to the female and non-cis male characters of this show and kind of dropping some of the main male villains from the original, including giving Hordak somewhat of like a backseat, which is fine because he was always like a less fun, although more intimidating version of Skeletor anyway. Plus, there's no Montana, which is cool because his eye thing and his wobbly voice were irritating as fuck, so like no loss there. But obviously the number one improvement on the reboot is taking kind of the implied queerness of the original and making it 100% real queerness. From the gender variant presentations of many of the characters to the openly romantic relationship that exists between princesses Natasha and Spinderella to the possible romantic tension between She-Ra and Catra and to the finally confirmed queerness of one of the lone male characters, Bo, who in the original show, while he was like a romantic interest to Glimmer, and still actually might be in this reboot, he was always kind of rumored to be gay or bi. Mostly it was the harness that he wore with a heart on it. But now in this new reboot, the way he kind of eyed the other sexually fluid character Seahawk in a couple of episodes, I feel like it's pretty safe to assume that that bisexuality is probably now character canon at this point. Here are the things I did not like about the reboot, which I'm going to call my she-nas, so deal with it. Although I do like the animated She-Ra transformation in the reboot, which is cool looking and does include a really cool sequence where she kind of like slams her fists together to make her gold gauntlets that she has kind of materialize on her arms. That looks really cool, but she only says for the honor of Grayskull in this one, which of course doesn't really have any context. I feel like they don't really explain the Grayskull thing in the series too much, so that's kind of confusing. But she never says, I am She-Ra, which is fucked and the best part, and I hate it. And also she doesn't transform Swiftwind each time when she transforms. Instead, he's just kind of transformed by the sword in the beginning and kind of remains in unicorn form the entire time. And we also don't get the goofy like She-Ra theme from the 80s, which obviously makes sense. But it was kind of fun and I miss it. Whatever. Also, there is zero glitter. Boo. Most importantly, where the fuck is Cowl? How can you have a She-Ra show without her magical koala owl cuddle buddy Cowl? And like maybe he's somewhere looking fierce with Flutterina and Peekaboo, who also aren't around, in a waterfall by the cooler looking original Crystal Castle, because the one in this one is not as exciting. But either way, I need some appearances from any of these characters, specifically Cowl, by season 2, or She-Ra Colon Pops is canceled. And while I love the original She-Ra, the reboot is honestly great. The characters are dealing with real and relatable, complex emotions, and aren't all so like easily considered good and evil. Even the ones that are evil or have evil in the title of their job description aren't so easily described that way. And there's also more characters of color and, like I said, a variety of gender presentations and body types. And it's a show that's entertaining, inclusive, and empowering. It's almost a perfect remake. Just bring back Cowl, okay? Then all will be forgiven. Hashtag bring back Cowl. How did you feel about the She-Ra reboot? Did it hold up to the original for you? Did it totally surpass it? Did it make you miss that Crystal Castle playset with the working water fountain? I didn't have one, but my older sister got one for her birthday once, and I've hated her for it ever since. How bad were you missing Cowl? Or Swiftwind's dope armor, which is also not in the reboot? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching the Bi-Geekly Report on Queer Space Magazine. If you liked this video, and I hope you did, be sure to like it digitally with the button and share it everywhere and subscribe to us so we can make more videos for you. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.